We're having conversations on the news review segment. Now we're going to get into another topic. If you're just joining us, my name is David Citi. I'm on the set this morning with Larry Dogbe, who is the editor of the Herald newspaper, as well as Elvis Darko, who is the editor for the Finder newspaper. I almost said Elvis Ankara. Now the show is interactive. We do want to hear from you. So use the WhatsApp line 0204447033 for us to hear what you're thinking. Send us messages. Now we're going to go into another conversation here. And CitiNewsroom.com has a story. SkyTrain project. $2 million payment was made by GIIF, not Railway Ministry. This is coming from govt. Now, former Minister of Railway Development, govt has debunked claims that the ministry under his watch made a $2 million payment to a company in Mauritius as part of this Accra SkyTrain project. He insisted that the money was instead paid by the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. Now, the minority in Parliament strongly criticized the government for paying the $2 million to Africa Investor Holdings Limited for the Accra SkyTrain project without parliamentary and the requisite public procurement approvals. But Mr. Gate, in an interview on Eyewitness News on Citi FM on Monday, rejected the claims and said the minority members are only broadcasting propaganda. He explained that in projects such as that of the now defunct SkyTrain project, it is the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund that effects such payments, and therefore the minority may want to get answers, the answers it's seeking from the GIIF. Okay, so that's what we have. Larry.
Yeah.
So the project is defunct, but...
Are you sure those are not your words?
But no, he says here, he explained that in projects such as that of the now defunct SkyTrain project.
So those are his words? Or
are they quoting him here? No, it's not a quote.
Okay.
He says here, okay, wait, he says here, this is the quote. The quote is, it is the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund that paid the money, and the fund is mandated to make such payments. And so if the minority wants anyone to refund the money, they should tell the Auditor General to ask the fund to refund the money. Okay. He further emphasized that the South African company that was supposed to execute the project was to come back to Ghana, but the outbreak of COVID prevented that from happening, and that now his engagement with the South Africans has ended on the project with no payment discussions. Okay, so basically the project is not happening.
Yeah.
But the money is gone.
Yeah, for me it's unfortunate that I have followed govt for years, and even when he became Attorney General, Minister of Justice, he led the prosecution of a lot of, people who were charged for causing financial loss to the state.
Yes.
I recall that of Mr. Chachuchi Kata, and then also I think Mr. Dana Bodakpi and some others for causing financial loss to the state. We could pay attention to this.
I'm listening to you.
Now, in the case of Mr. Dana Bodakpi, he was prosecuted over a certain payment made for feasibility studies.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Made for feasibility studies. Yeah. This $2 million is meant for feasibility studies,
yes.
I'm told.
Yes.
In the case of Dana Bodakpi, it was, I think the money involved was, it should be around $400,000 thereabout also. Okay? Now, even that, when attempts were being made by the person, the beneficiary of that particular payment to bring back the money, they said government was like, listen, we're not interested also. Or government actually went for that money. That was, I think, an order of restitution.
The 400,000?
The 400,000.
Okay.
Yes, but still went ahead and then prosecuted, for a certain wrongdoing. So people went to jail over this matter.
Yeah.
I don't think that Mr. Igate should be talking the way he's talking, particularly when he knows the members of that particular committee, the Ghana Infrastructure
the
Fund.
GIF, yeah.
Exactly. Made up of, I just got some names, made up of, excuse me, give me a moment.
Yeah.
Made up of one Professor Douglas Boateng as the board chair. Okay? And it goes further to mention the other members. The CEO is Solomon Asamoah,
Okay.
Eric Otridako, Cecilia Hesse, Kwabena Nyako, Teresa Efua Oparibia, Collins Adomako Mensa, Member of Parliament for Efija Kwabre North, Nana Efua Shrewa Abebio, and Ambassador George Kumi. These are the members of this particular infrastructure fund. And it is under the Ministry of Finance.
Okay.
Indeed, this particular names that the article that I'm reading from was done after the inauguration of this particular fund. So Mr. Garte knows who and who was involved. Why would he be accusing the people as in the minority, which were obviously providing an oversight responsibility, what they were voted to do? Why would he be accusing them of engaging in propaganda? Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear you.
You don't go accusing them of engaging in propaganda. And that you didn't make the payment, but that it is rather the infrastructure fund.
But it seems almost like blame pushing in a way, because to me, Ministry of Railways doesn't have money anyway. Okay. Right? It's Ministry of Finance that will do payments on behalf of Ministry of Railways, right? And if this GIF sits under Ministry of Finance, then why are you pushing the buck? Why are you trying to pretend as if it's not? Because if it wasn't Ministry of Railways that made a request that they need to do feasibility studies, what would be GIF be paying money to whoever for?
But I know it even gets worse, where you don't have
How does GIF know who to pay money to?
Exactly.
Wouldn't that request come from Railways?
Railways, sure.
Okay, so I don't understand what Jogate was doing.
Well, that's the point. And then I don't understand what Amewu is doing either, because he inherited Jogate.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So even the land, the railway tracks, the ones that this one is for the sky.
Yeah. The one in the air. The train in the air.
Exactly, the train in the air. But even the land trains, they are nowhere to be found.
We haven't seen them.
Okay, today very often you hear about Impaka Dam and all other places, and so.
But I've seen that project actually, and for me, I love that project. I see there, but I don't.
There are no coaches.
Okay, what are the coaches? Exactly. So we are just laying the tracks.
Because you don't have tracks, the coaches will run on.
And you know what?
None of the coaches.
And you know what is happening?
What?
So as they are laying them,
people are also stealing.
People are also stealing, exactly, and selling them as scrap.
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, if you imagine the amount of money that has been pumped into this thing, maybe I will agree with Elvis that we should have rather blown the money on free SHS, because I mean, why would we be doing this to ourselves? So Amewu is not talking, and Joe Garte, when he spoke, he says, "Listen, this is purely propaganda." And that go and blame infrastructure projects rather, or don't even blame anybody at all, because don't blame me, I didn't make payment. But you led us, and like you led us there. You said you were in South Africa, and that the South Africans were to come back after a certain time, but they couldn't come back because of COVID. You are seeking the highest office of the land. This is how you'll be running things, where decisions are made by you, engagements are made by you. When there are issues, don't blame me, blame somebody else. What kind of thing are we dealing with?
Elvis, before you comment, let me just read this bit here. This is also from another story on citinewsroom.com. It says here, before the company even started feasibility studies, someone in government, and it's a quote, someone in government had decided to pay $2 million to this entity, and somewhere this year, Jogate said he has never said the government was going to fund the Sky Train project. I'm not sure I'm not sure he was reading what he had written because what was the $2 million meant for? The Auditor General's report said the company didn't have the license to operate a system that it wanted to operate. And so the question is, what was the reason the government, for the government to give the company the money, and who gave the directive for the payment? This is all coming from Agboja in Parliament, the minorities' response, in Parliament yesterday to all the issues there. There was a caucus contending here that said that the government has also invested, and this is just by the way, has also invested over $20 million in terms of equity into the Accra Citi Pullman Hotel project without any work on site for almost 2 years now.
Do you know who owns the Pullman Hotel?
No.
It's owned by an in-law to President Akufo-Addo.
I see.
What is the story? Herald has done this several times over.
$20 million in excess.
Yes.
And
this is a private company. It's
okay. Let's finish that. Let's finish
the money
is owned by the president's in-law.
Instead of wasting time criticizing free SHS. $20 million and 2 years project, no project has started.
Nothing.
See, when the RTI law was passed in this country, people don't understand what we fought for RTI. See,
yeah.
African and Ghana government like doing things very opaque. And see, when you are transparent, it helps the government itself.
Yeah.
Because probably if you had put information out there already, people may have given information that will make you not to invest in this project. Listen to what the Auditor General has found. In fact, the $2 million has been declared as a net liability, according to the Auditor General. An amount of $2 million paid in 2019 premium to acquire ordinary shares for the development of Accra City train project has been reported as a net liability. So the Ghana Infrastructure Fund is declaring the money as net liability. That's Auditor General's finding in 2019. This contained a report by the Auditor General on the public accounts of Ghana, boards, corporations, and others for the period ended 31st December 2021. So if you go and take Auditor General report on this topic,
yeah,
you will see it clearly there that Ghana Infrastructure Fund is declaring this $2 million as a net liability. So it's Ghana share.
Yeah, but then
and listen, they say in the report, it made that African Investor Holding Incorporated a special purpose vehicle SVP in Mauritius for the purpose of Ghana SkyTrain Limited to develop the Accra SkyTrain project through a concession on design, build, finance, and operate arrangement. Listen to this. So, in actual fact, we think we pay the company money to come and do a feasibility. It says that we are rather going to buy shares. It says, according to the Auditor General report, the government of Ghana through the Ghana Infrastructure Fund.
Yeah.
So Jogate is right. That's what the Auditor General has found. Through the Ghana Infrastructure Fund, paid $2 million to African Investment Fund as a full consideration for 10 ordinary shares.
$200,000.
$2 million
yes,
for 10 ordinary shares in the company.
Yes, each share.
So clearly, I think the minority should even go further to demand a probe into how this company was established.
Yeah.
This African investment that we have paid the money to, because clearly, there's nothing that shows whether the company has already been into that business or anything. Then all of a sudden, an SVP is formed, and the Ghana goes to buy shares in a new company.
Yeah.
And the SVP is to form a new company.
Ostensibly has no
and the new
record.
company is now to come and develop Accra SkyTrain Limited. And the Ghana government has gone to pay $2 million to buy 10 ordinary shares in that company. See, this money is now being declared, according to the Auditor General's report, the Ghana Infrastructure Fund has declared the money a net liability. $2 million today. Let's use 12 cedis as exchange rate. It's how much? 24 million Ghana cedis. Yes. Yet we are struggling to pay 270 to feed school children. Yeah. This is why I'm telling you that the rate at which we throw money at things that don't materialize in this country, if we pay attention there and reduce this money we throw away by even half, even half, there will be money. We will save a lot of money for this country to do the things that we think we need. How do you pay money? An SBP has just been formed, and you go and pay $2 million and now you are declaring it as a net liability. Ghana Infrastructure Fund is Ghana money that we are saving, that we want to use it to do specific investment in the country to promote.
That's all your money.
But
to promote infrastructure.
I think the persons in charge.
The question is
questions to answer.
No, who even decided that we should invest in that company?
No, who led? I'm coming. Who led govt to South Africa in the first place?
That's what I said. So the minority, I think,
and it's not just a South African company that we are talking about. Then you come deep down to a company that is based in Mauritius.
Yes.
And it's
Mauritius, you can set up a company anytime.
And that's why they want to set up the SVP. So even though the African Investment something is a South African company, the SVP is formed in Mauritius. And so we pay $2 million to that company. And nobody is asking questions. Who led Ghana into that? Who led Ghana Infrastructure Fund into that?
The money is gone.
What studies were done that this project is viable? Where is the report that shows that the so-called SkyTrain project is viable? Where is any report? We are not asking any question about these things. Then we just shout, free SHS is consuming money. You pay $2 million and now you are being told that your public money, oil money, that we think we need to solve infrastructure deficit in this country while we are building this, $2 million to be the net liability by Ghana Infrastructure Fund.
All right.
What are we talking about in this country?
The $20 million.
No, we are not even.
That
one
is just by the way.
Telling you that
I just showed the story.
Yes.
We throw money into so many things that don't yield anything to this country. We don't have anybody asking questions. How did we throw that money? How do we get it back? Do you think that, as Larry rightfully said, we say willfully causing financial loss to the state? Some people were prosecuted some time ago.
Yeah.
Why is it that if monies are paid today, that is now being declared net liability? Why is somebody not answering questions for the same issue? Why?
All right. Okay. You know what? Let's make progress. The next story, because this one
we can't make progress.
No,
the money is good. You are not changing the money. You are saying let's make progress.
No, but
this is why we are not making progress.
No, we are making progress on the show. We will deal with the rest later.